Hey, what's up gamers? You have TigerChainsaw. Now, if you've been watching my previous PS5 game reviews, you'll know that my journey with the PS5 did not get off to a great start. I picked up some games that I just simply didn't enjoy. But in 2023, I saw Atomic Heart, and I was really intrigued by it. It looked gorgeous, the combat looked really fun and addicting, and I was really liking the character designs. And so I picked up Atomic Heart, and I got a lot of stuff to say about this game. And so today's video is all about Atomic Heart. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, go ahead and hit that sub button because it really helps me grow, and I've got tons of game reviews ranging from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, all the way up to the PS5 and the Switch. So go ahead, hit that button because it really helps me grow, and you can catch all of those game reviews. All right, I hope you like robots because there's going to be a ton of them in this Atomic Heart review. Let's get to it. In 2023, developer Mundfish and publisher Focus Entertainment released Atomic Heart on the PS5, but not without plenty of fake controversy. I remember I made a video way back in the day talking about how excited I was for this game and how it looked really fun. I got countless backlash from crazy people commenting about how I shouldn't support this game. Why don't you have the Ukrainian flag in your profile photo? By buying this game, you're supporting the genocide of Ukrainian people. Every copy purchased of Atomic Heart is a bullet for the war. I wish that I was making jokes, but those were some of the comments that I was receiving just because I was excited about Atomic Heart. Just let me enjoy the game. With all of the outrage, it made me want to play Atomic Heart even more. And so I did. And guess what? It was one of my favorite experiences of the year. But it wasn't just viewers that were commenting about the controversy. I remember trigger warnings on reviews all because Mundfish was potentially made up of Russian people. Don't worry, the only trigger warning I'm putting on this review is because it's a first-person shooter. Atomic Heart is one of the more unique first-person shooters I've played in recent memory, and it should be celebrated, so we're gonna do just that, starting with the plot, but be warned, spoilers are ahead. Die, Russian communist pig! Let's get the setting straight. Atomic Heart is set in an alternate 1950s timeline with the Soviet Union developing a substance called polymer created by a man named Dmitry Sechenov. Now, because I can't really say his last name, I'm going to refer to him by his first name, which is Dmitry. This substance has allowed the nation to flourish and has kind of created a utopia. One of the advancements is robots. Robots now help with just about everything from labor to tourism. All of the robots are controlled through a network, but unfortunately that network may not be so secure, as the game starts off with robots massacring humans in a research facility. You'll be playing as Major P3, an agent dispatched to take care of the mess and reclaim control over the robots. P3 also has a little helper with his AI named Charles. Now, P3 is not without problems. Previously, he was critically injured, but was rescued by Dmitry, who brought him back to health with a few implanted systems. Unfortunately, these have also caused him to lose most of his memories before the injury. Dmitry sends P3 to the research facilities to figure out what's going on and to find the source of the issue. Dmitry believes that robotics designer Viktor Petrov is the man behind the manipulation of the network causing the robots to slaughter humans. As P3 gets deeper into the facility, he finds Petrov and a woman named Larissa Filatova who works as a neurosurgeon. After finding him, Petrov gives 2 rings to P3 and before committing suicide. It's revealed that the network is trying to roll out a huge update titled 2.0 and that Dmitry and the government are in a power struggle over it. With the government sending a man named Molotov to shut it down, P3 meets Molotov but ends up blacking out, waking up to find that Molotov has been murdered. Now here's what's really going on and where things start to get really crazy. The rings that Petrov gave P3 have the ability to link him into the new network but make him invisible to detection, so the wearer cannot be controlled. It's revealed that Dmitry, the creator of the polymer and the network created it to potentially enslave large populations with mind control. All the robots, including civilian robots, are capable of combat. Dmitry was also running experiments to try and combine humans and robots, resulting in many scientific freaks running around the facility. P3 was one of those experiments after Dmitry saved him, and that's why he lost his memory. His little AI pal, Charles, it's actually the consciousness of Dmitry's longtime research partner, Chariton Zakharov, who helped create the network, who was probably murdered by Dmitry. It turns out that the injuries that P3 sustained were from a previous mission that he went on with his wife, who is also an agent. Her body could not be saved, but Dmitry took her brain and split it between two robot bodyguards nicknamed the Twins. After uncovering all of this, the player can make a choice. Have P3 leave the facility and allow Dmitry to continue with his plan of human enslavement while P3 lives without being detected by the network, or confront Dmitry. Of course, I chose to confront him, which leads to P3 battling the twin robots who I surely thought was going to sit on my face at one point. After the battle, P3 eventually shoots Dmitry in the gut. Dmitry then spills the beans on Charles, being part of P3. With P3 being enraged, Charles the Glove, who is the AI companion, escapes from P3, kills Dmitry, and then transforms into a massive humanoid monster of polymer before declaring that he will destroy humanity. Yeah, that ending, pretty strange. I think the first thing that really blew my mind about Atomic Heart was the gorgeous graphics. I instantly felt immersed into the environment and the city. Everything was breathtaking and well designed. It felt like a living, breathing atmosphere that I was walking through and exploring. Before you actually start the game, you can select your difficulty. These have little animations. I loved it. Small details go so far for me. One character that you need to get used to right away is the rapey vending machines. Yes, you heard that correctly. Atomic Heart has very dark overtones, but it spices it up with humor that amused me. This vending machine is oddly attracted to you and wants to jump your bones, literally. You'll want to stay away, but just to hear the stuff that came out of the speakers of this vending machine made me blush. Combat is tough, but in a good way. There's many different enemies that you'll be facing, ranging from lots of different robots to humans that were infused with robotics and strange plants. With so many different enemies, you'll have many weapons to choose from. You'll find that some weapons are much more effective against certain types of enemies. I personally use the shotgun a ton, as well as the electric gun for many portions. But once I got the Fat Boy, it was a huge advantage. I blasted away almost every boss with it. Your glove is not just your AI companion though. The glove will act as a secondary weapon, allowing you special power moves that will either hurt or hinder the enemies that are chasing you. It's important to combine your glove powers along with your weapons if you want to survive. If you don't survive, at least you'll be treated to some awesome death animations. The soundtrack was great. It was a combination of weird Russian heavy metal and classical music. It just gave me different vibes and it made me feel like I was truly experiencing another culture. Character designs were another big plus. They were all refreshing and felt realistic in terms of how people looked. Even when the designs were less realistic like the robot twins, the designers made them sexy, almost entrancing the player. Boss fights were few and far in between, but I did love taking them on. The music cranked up and the atmosphere was charged whenever you fought one. It was a good challenge, and on a few of them, I had to learn their patterns before defeating them. I think the weirdest part of Atomic Heart was the dreamlike sequences. They changed up the pace and at times were a little confusing. The ending was also very strange at the time of playing it. I didn't hate it, I just didn't know what the hell was going on. You'll be able to explore quite a bit in Atomic Heart and complete challenges if you want. These will boost your stats or give you better weapons. I didn't do a ton of these as the main story occupied my time, but there is plenty to do for those that want to stretch out the experience. This was an excellent first game from Mundfish. An immersive and gorgeous environment awaits exploration as you battle your way through sadistic hordes of killer robots who will kill you 100 different ways. The soundtrack is strangely fitting, and the weapons and powers will have you coming up with new ways to survive. Atomic Heart is a first-person shooter that is a must-own and play, offering so much to the player, which is why Atomic Heart scores a 9.3 out of 10, making this a masterpiece. Gamers, that was my review of Atomic Heart that was released in 2023 on the PS5. I personally really enjoyed this game and thought it was such a strong start for the developer of Mundfish. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Who else has played this and who is excited for Atomic Heart 2? I can't wait to learn more about that game, and I will definitely be picking that up. But going back to the original game, what did you think of that vending machine? What did you think of those twins? And what was your favorite weapon, or what was your favorite level in this game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and of course subscribe to my channel because I've got tons of game reviews on it. Speaking of which, if you like the twins, and I'm talking about some big boobies, you will love my upcoming review of Dead or Alive 4 that features a lot of bouncy, jiggly physics. That's going to be coming up next, so stay tuned and keep watching. Gamers, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game today.